Hello and thank you for joining me again. Today's video is going to be on my backup system for my computer. Now, I mentioned in my last video that I had a bit of a computer problem whereby I'd lost some information, I'd lost quite a bit of data. And unfortunately I hadn't got backups. Now, some of the software used for reprogramming radios I had on CD anyway, so I was able to just install those back again. But there's a lot that I've downloaded over the years that unfortunately I've lost for good. It's important to back up, especially nowadays, when people, especially me, I keep all my photographs, all my music, all my media, the films, movies, home movies, I keep on computer. And you're relying on potentially just one hard drive, just to keep it stored on. And if anything happens to that computer, then you've lost absolutely everything unless it's backed up. So I can't stress enough the importance of backing up data. I'm not a computer technician, I'm no engineer. However, I have a certain amount of knowledge with computers that allows me to sort of service and fix computers for close friends and family, of which I'm happy to do so. And the amount of times the computer's gone wrong and it requires an install or new drive or whatever, and they've not backed up anything that's on the drive inside, and they've had to lose it all. Sometimes you can recover it, you can take a drive out, and sometimes you can recover, but not always. It's very, very important, always back up your computer. So I've decided my main machines are backed up. I've always backed those up. I've got multiple copies of everything, but not for the workshop, because it never really seemed worth it until I've had this problem where I've lost a lot of the stuff, and I thought, hang on a minute, I am actually storing stuff on here that's valuable. I do need to start backing it up. And it doesn't have to be expensive either. There's different ways you can do it. So as long as you've got some form of backup, like a spare drive, or whether it's onto CD or flash drive or something, it doesn't have to be expensive. This is an iAmega external hard drive. This cost me at the time probably about £70 or £80. I've had it a good few years now. It's only a 500 gig hard drive. This was once used as one of my main media drives on my other computer, but 500 gigs just not big enough. I'm on sort of 2 and 3 terabytes now. So it goes to show that we do store a lot of stuff on computers. So I've decided I'm going to use this. Now, if you don't want to use an external drive, you can use, like I say, a CD-ROM. Nero, which is software for copying and burning data onto CDs, is fantastic. That enables you to turn a rewritable CD or DVD into a proper disc that you can write on time and time again, add on and take off, like we used to with the old floppy drives and other hard drives. You can just use it as a disk drive effectively. It doesn't have to write once and that's it. So there's many different ways you can back up data. The software that I'm using, like I said, is Acronis. I've used it for quite a few years. It can do a lot. I don't know all the features that it can do because I don't use all the features. I just use like a daily backup, where as long as the computer's turned on, it will keep on taking sort of images from your drive, and it'll save it. And I think it does it every 6 minutes. So if you've just installed some software that's completely hashed up your machine, or you just deleted something you shouldn't have done and you can't recover it, you can actually go into your software for your backup, and you can actually roll back to 6 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago, 18, 24 minutes, a day, a week, a month, as many times as you can, depending on how long you've been backing up for. So you don't have to think about it. As long as it's all connected, it works in the background of your machine, and it's just there constantly backing up, and it just looks for changes in your computer, and it will back those up. So it's not constantly writing and reading the whole of your hard drive. It's just looking for changes, and every 6 minutes, whatever changes it sees, it then copies onto your backup. This is the way I'm going to be doing it anyway. So the idea is that I'm not going to be keeping this backup drive inside the workshop for security reasons, also because it does get quite damp in here at night and in the winter, a bit cold. The computer is turned on most of the time and left on, so that keeps itself dry enough to not get ruined. but this, for what it's worth, I'm going to keep inside. And then when I come outside to the shack, I can just plug it in and it'll automatically start off where it finished. Now, because I'm going to be doing that, I don't need to be fastening this anywhere underneath the work surface where my computer is, because that's going to be a pain to get to. So what I've done, I've routed a long USB cable from the computer going along the back and coming up to this point here, this side of the bench, and this is where I'll just plug in when I'm operating it. So I've installed the software onto the computer. I've had a bit of a look, bit of a play around with it. So I'm just going to plug that in now to the USB, plug the power into the back as well, and stick it on. Lights flashing, if you can see that flashing, should be flashing anyway. And then, yeah, the computer's found it. And then that we can just leave now until I finish and want to go back inside the house again. Autoplay is detected the media drive that I plugged in. I've called it media drive because it did predominantly have sort of media on this drive. I do need to change that though. So let me go into this. In fact, let me bring you zoomed in a bit more. Okay, it's not an amazing quality view that you've got there, but it's the best I can do for the moment, I'm afraid. So this is the media drive, drive J here, which I'm going to be using for my backup. So what I want to do, first of all, is to just format this drive. It's got bits and bobs on it at the moment. I want to change the title anyway. I want to call this Workshop Backup. Just so when I'm clicking onto my computer and I see my various drives and flash drives and disks, I can identify it quickly as being the backup, so I don't touch it. Okay, yeah, format will erase all data, that's fine, go ahead. This drive's in use. Okay, do it anyway. I think it's because it's just found the software for the backup and it's having a bit of a play. So we'll cancel anything that's running there. Okay, format's complete. Okay, I can now close that down. We can now go into the True Image software that we've got. Do we want to allow it to make changes? Yes, we do. And just give it a second. It's not the fastest of computers we've got here, you know. It's quite an old machine. I could probably do with sticking an extra bit of memory in it, but I think that's as much as I'll do. Okay, so this is the main title page. It's just loading itself up. It's all been activated. I've done that before. Now this is one that I tried a short while ago. I need to delete this one because it isn't set to back up everything that I want it to back up. So we're going to delete that backup. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, so it's deleted the previous backup that I had done, and it's now ready for me to tell it what to do. Now you've got quite a few different options here. You've got disk partition backup, where presumably you can back up any partitions that you've created. Online backup, that's quite a good service. It means you can back up straight online. The only problem is it's going to be constantly sort of chewing away at your broadband allowance. I'm on unlimited broadband, so that probably wouldn't affect me so much, but I don't want it to be relying on the internet. I'd like to have my own copy. And you've got create bootable media, so obviously if you completely kill your hard drive, you do need to have some sort of bootable media. The way I do it is that I've got my original installation disks for Windows 7 and for my various other sort of bits of software that I've got. So I'll actually just install it from scratch anyway, but this does enable you to create a bootable disk, which I'm not going to do at this moment. You can browse for backups and then you can obviously recover if you just reinstalled. But first thing we need to do is to go into other backups. Now you've got different types here. There's three main ones. You've got file backup, email backup and non-stop backup. Now the file backup is just quite a simple version. It just backs up certain files. Email, again, that's just for emails. But the non-stop backup is the important one. That's the one I'm looking for. This is the one that enables you to have it running in the background and it will just keep on updating and then allow you to roll back in every sort of 6 minutes and 6 minute intervals. So what do we want to back up? Well, I'm going to tell it to back up C drive. and with that I want to include my libraries. I don't want it to include the home groups because attached to home groups are the other computers in the household, and I don't need it to back there up. Those have already been backed up on the main backup system on my main machines, so I'm not worried about those. So we just make sure that everything there is ticked apart from home groups. Yep. Okay, destination drive. Well, we've only got 2 drives attached. We've got the C drive, which is the primary computer drive, and then J, which is the one that we're using as the backup. So make sure that one's ticked. We're going to call it my backup. That's fine. And click start now. And it's now creating a non-stop backup. And we'll just let it do that. Now, that's now going to take quite a long time. As you can see, the screen here is just calculating. Now, this is going to do a one-off complete backup of my computer. Once it's done this one main backup, it won't be doing big backups again. It'll just be looking for any changes. So once, like I said, once it's turned on and it's looking at itself, it'll see what's new and then just back up that new item. And that's how it's going to work. And that's how it works so efficiently. And it doesn't take up a lot of memory and a lot of disk space. Okay? But this first initial time, yes, it's got quite a lot of work to do. So we're going to allow it to do that. I'm going to close down the box. It's okay to do that at the bottom of the screen. I don't know whether it's on view with you or not there, but you've got the little icons just showing you. True Image is currently 0% complete. Can you see that little box there? I'm not sure whether you can or not, but that's where it is. So we're going to leave that to do it. Now, the other thing is the software, which I've got, Acronic True Image. I don't want to have to rely on a CD that I might have lost or might be in the shed, which burns down with everything else. So I want a copy of that disk actually on this drive. So I can take this drive to any future computer of mine, install it all, and get the backup from it. So what I want to do is to open up True Image. Operation is successfully completed. So it's configured nicely, and now it's just starting to back up, so that's good. So let's open up my computer. That's the backup drive there. We'll open it up. Now when it backs up, it doesn't actually give you anything visible on the screen, but that's not a problem. We know it's working away nicely anyway. Acronis True Image Home Build 2013. Okay, that's an image that I've taken from the CD that I had. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it onto the backup drive. So, like I say, if I have to reinstall completely onto a new computer, I've got the installation software on this drive. So it's all in one place. There's nothing worse than having spare backups but not being able to use them as backups because you've got no driver disks for any of your systems. So there we go. So that's now attached to the drive, and then that's everything else. So I can close that down, and now it's just a matter of leaving it. Whilst it's doing that, it's best to leave the computer turned on, and to be honest, I do sort of leave mine turned on most of the time anyway, so I'm happy just to leave that be now. You can go to have a look at your progress anytime you want, just by hovering your mouse over, have a look at the status, and it'll tell you the percentage and how far it's gone. But often it's just best just to leave it. Depending on the size of your hard drive you're backing up and the size of your processor, it'll depend on how long it takes. But once it's up and running, it doesn't make any difference to the speed of your computer. It doesn't slow it down in any way. If you have an older machine, then it might make a difference. But on this, it makes no difference at all. Now, Acronis has got some other software on it as well, tools and utilities. I'm not going to go through this much at the moment. However, it does enable you from here to clone disks, completely shred your drive. So if you've got sensitive material on a drive, you can use this software just to completely clear it. Because as hopefully you know, just by deleting a file does not actually delete it from your computer. Something to be aware of. So you've got a proper system cleanup, drive cleanser, so you can permanently destroy all your data, and file shredder. So it's got a few useful features on this. I think it's probably something I should start using a bit more of, to be honest with you. But often we don't do. We like to think that we're prepared, but in reality we're not as prepared as we should be. So that's that. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that running now. You can, incidentally, use things like cloud services, Dropbox, Apple iCloud. You can use all those. I've got this from PC. It came with some software from PC World a while ago. It came with my Norton antivirus, and I think this gives me 500 gig of online backup. I've not actually activated it yet, but maybe I should do that. But again, you're relying on the internet, and I don't want to have to do that. I like to be able to have all my data in one place to hand without having to download it. And I think this is a faster way as well. If you're uploading data, it does take a lot of time. Okay, I'm going to leave that to it. I'll probably update this later on. And I might have a closer look at Dropbox and see whether we can use Dropbox at all, which is a great online storage facility. Great for synchronizing. If you've got a various bits of software or different computers to synchronize together, that's another great way of backing data as well. But we'll leave this be, let it carry on. And when I come back, probably later on tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a bit of a radio review and maybe a boxing of a radio as well. So keep an eye out for that. So thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all very soon.